Hello guys, my name is Ansh, and we are back again with the third podcast. You must be wondering कि वंश है अंश है तो तीसरा गेस्ट कहाँ है. But guys, हमारा इस बार का गेस्ट वंश ही है, and Vansh has been one of my closest friends in VIT. We have done lots of fun together, but apart from that, he's really good at academics. His CGPA was around 9.778.
9.68 to be exact.
9.68. And yeah, and he has cracked PayPal and also got a PPO from PayPal. So that is one of the marquee companies of VIT. So definitely I feel this experience of his will be very beneficial to you. So Vansh, why don't you introduce yourself?
Yes, surely. So, a part of you guys who've been watching this podcast might be familiar with me, but just to give a breakthrough, I'm Vansh and I'm currently a fourth year student at VIT Vellore, and I got a summer internship with PayPal, and I did a 3 month internship with them. Post that, I got converted with a full-time offer. So this is just the corporate experience of mine. Apart from this, just to give a brief background on me, as my friends know, I really like dancing a lot, and even we've been together in the anchoring club. So public speaking is also one of the most valuable skills of mine. So thank you so much, Ansh.
So yes, very well said, Vansh. And yes, exactly as you see, apart from academics, he has also maintained his co-curricular life. So kudos to that. And diving back to the interview experiences, etc. So Vansh, can you please tell me कि people don't expect third year में internship के companies, etc. So what was your scenario like, and how well prepared were you?
So to be really honest, like even I didn't expect an internship because it's just that phase when companies start coming and you just start getting rejected. So basically, it's a very hard time for any person. So after a certain time, you give up hope, but that shouldn't be the case. So if we look at the beginning of the third year, and when I remember Microsoft was the first company that came into the campus, and I remember how unprepared for that internship, interviews, and everything that I was. So basically, I had a very strong hand in problem solving from before only, but my development skills weren't so strong. So just as the company started coming, I just started to refine those skills and everything. So even I was quite unprepared, but yeah, it's just that process and how you deal with it that carries you through it.
So, Vansh, can you tell us the how was the timeline of PayPal like? When did they come, etc.?
So I don't remember the dates exactly, approximately, but it just came after Wells Fargo, and it was, I guess, in the month of mid-September or something, wherein they had shortlisted specific candidates. So earlier they had released a Google form with the requirements. So the requirements, the eligibility criteria was a 9 CGPA, a 90% in your 10 standard, and a 90% in your 12 standard. But post that also, they had only shortlisted specific candidates and they were sent the OA links and everything. So around mid-September, the mails were sent, and I guess in late September the OA was scheduled.
Okay, and you said I heard that in PayPal only 9.5 plus were shortlisted. Is it true?
Yes, so as I said, only specific candidates were selected. So it was approximately people with a very, very high CGPA who were really good at their academics. So I remember from VIT Vellore, as such, only I guess 30 people had gotten shortlisted for the OA.
Okay,
But there were other
that's
campuses also, Chennai, Bhopal, and AP. So I guess 10, 10, or 20 from each of them. Yeah.
you're saying top 30 people with their highest acads and resume from VIT Velour's campus. That's like around 7 to 8,000 people just sit for placements.
Yeah.
Just 30 of them got shortlisted
Yeah,
for it.
and even a correction in that, it was not that all those who were really good with their academics or shortlisted. I had my friends who had a GPA better than mine, but they didn't get shortlisted. So probably even after the academic shortlisting, they did a resume-based shortlisting. So that was also the scenario with that.
So for people and listeners who are viewing this, like I will say that yeah, you should consider this if you are having really good academics and apart from that resume as well. So like it is a very competitive cutoff, I will say. So yeah, once what happens in the OA of 30 plus 10 10, so 50 60 people का जो भी OA was, how was it?
Yeah. So particularly, if I were to rate the OA, then it was a very simple OA. There were, I guess, there was one DSA question and then six MCQs. So everything was very simple, but since everything is so simple, all the problems and everything, then the real constraint comes on time and how you're able to submit your solutions faster to the other candidates. So I remember that the time for the OA that they had given was 1 hour, but I had submitted the OA in 18 minutes, 18 to 20 minutes, and I was actually the third person to submit the OA. And so I remember the first person to submit the OA was approximately 15 minutes or something. So you need to do all the solutions correct and even submit it as fast as you can. So time is really a constraint while dealing with PayPal OA.
So, okay, so guys, point to be noted, many people don't know this. Even if you're giving an online OA or even if you're giving offline OA, your time also matters a lot. So it's not about just solving the question, it's about solving the fastest, right? And so when you're preparing, do give mock tests, do give time constraint tests so that you don't panic and you're able to solve it quickly. Okay, Vansh. So आई एम प्रीटी श्योर आपका वही अच्छा ही गया होगा. तो उसके बाद कैसा सीन था, कैसे कब इंटरव्यू हुआ, कब रिजल्ट आया, सो दैट एवरीवन नोस दैट प्रोसेस ऐसा होगा.
Yeah, so basically with PayPal, they had just conducted the way and post that for 15 to 20 days. I don't think so that there was any communication from their end.
Right.
So we were just waiting because there was a really good chance that we could have gotten selected for the interviews. So we were just waiting, and then suddenly one day, the mails drop out, wherein they scheduled the interviews 10 days later to the day they'd sent the mail, and not even 10 days, exactly 9 days later. So it was a pretty good like amount of time wherein we could have, improved our preparations and really have gotten to know like what PayPal actually wants and what they focus on this entire process.
So once you got 10 to 15 days later your result out and you are given 10 days for your interview. So can you tell me, because PayPal इतना बड़ा company, they pay around 35-40 lakhs के range में. So it's so much pressure I feel कि ये तो crack करना ही करना है. And there's everyone is like best of the best around you because all of them got through such a serious cutoff. So how was the pressure like? How did you manage it and how did you prepare for it with the 10 days?
So, yeah, I'm saying 10 days, but actually it was 9 days, and I remember those days very well because I believe that in that period of 9 days, I was actually able to, improve my skills, be it problem solving or my development skills, like the projects and everything. So I remember those 9 days, I really used to just wake up. I used to study the entire day and then sleep. Sleeping even for the very limited amount of time, 7 hours or 6 hours probably per day, which is very, less as compared to what I do normally. So I remember I did give it my all, and honestly, there were two things that were going through my mind. One thing was that I want to prepare and make myself the best I can for the interview. And second thing was that, whenever you're preparing for any interview, there are these thoughts that cross your mind, probably through your friends or just like randomly, that you will get selected or you will not get selected. So I thought that the latter one would be true, that I would not get selected. But that one thing that just kept me going through this entire period was that even if I don't get selected in this pressure of 9 days, wherein I have to conquer like almost all the domains that probably they'll ask me in the interview, I'll be able to really upskill myself. And probably in the interviews that I might have given further, I would really be prepared well for that. And so that was just the only thought that was going in my mind. I was second doubting myself continuously, like any other person would. But yeah, so that was this entire process for me, and it was really, really stressful and everything. And even in that 9 days, actually, one day I remember I actually got selected for the interview for Dell. So I was quite happy about that also, because if not for PayPal, then Dell would be there for me. And
Mm.
the Dell interview was before PayPal, so I would have gotten my interview experience of how I should answer the questions and how I should construct my own arguments and my solutions in a very strategic manner. So this was that entire 9-day process for me.
Mm. So, guys, if you really noticed, he worked hard, really hard. But once I wanted to know what exactly did you study? In short, if you can say, if it was like top 100 React questions, what was like, because people are really confused what to go about, what is exactly asked in interviews. No one knows. So, how to search that? How to know what PayPal is going to ask or any other company is going to ask? How do I, you know?
Yeah, so that is very, very obvious that because we are in the third year, we don't know exactly what type of questions the company might ask. It might be a very easy question related to stacks or queues, or might be a difficult one related to trees, graphs, or even dynamic programming. So yeah, I was very confused in that time, and I used to ask my seniors a lot about this, and they used to guide me through that entire process. But then they used to like tell that it actually depends upon the interviewer. So basically, I did it all. So for one of the most important things that I did was like really improve my problem solving skills. That was through Striver's A to Z sheet. So I just started doing that sheet, and I remember I used to do at least 20 to 25 problems per day. Uh, and I used to, like even if it is a binary search problem, and there are 10 problems related to similar solutions, I used to solve each and every them. Like I used to code them out because I did not want that chance that I forget in that interview or I'm a bit confused. Then that might be very bad on my part because I would look quite unsure. So that was related to DSA. But apart from, as I have told earlier, I was really good at DSA from earlier, but the development part wherein my projects come. So just as last guest, Angeline, she also didn't have any projects that she could actually show on the resume. Even I would say that I didn't have actually really good projects. I had very mediocre projects related to front end development in React and everything. But even after that, I had done that pretty long ago. So I was quite unfamiliar with the concept. So I watched top 300 interview questions for React, wherein not only the theory part of React, but also the practical knowledge. I covered that because they were more likely to ask those kind of questions in the interview, and I just watched them completely. I even built one React project in that period of time so that I was, really familiar with the inner goings of the entire project. And apart from that, I already had a machine learning project that I had done in the previous semester. So basically, the math part of it, the different tests that are related to it, I, studied for that. And apart from that, the core fundamentals. So really, these first two things actually took a lot of my time. I was not able to completely focus on the core fundamentals, but I watched these top 100 interview questions on them. And since these
On
were,
each of them, like operating
yeah,
systems,
yeah, yeah,
SQL,
operating system,
yeah,
DBMS, and CN, computer networks. Okay,
okay.
and these all courses were going side by side in our semester, so I had a pretty good knowledge of the initial parts of them. So I took a risk that probably if they'll ask me questions, I'll be able to answer them out. Oops, object-oriented programming was something I focused a lot on because I was told that it is really, really important, and it was very easy to get through. So yeah, so probably you can just watch a breakthrough video on object-oriented programming, or I'm pretty sure that you might have used it in your projects and everything. So that was pretty easy. So this was my entire preparation for the interviews in that 9-day period.
Mhm. So once I'll be having some extra questions, but I ask them in the end. Questions like Java versus Python, what should I do? Or projects, which one should I really pick? Since now you have been fourth year and you have been hearing so many experiences. But yeah, for now I'll want to ask you that, like, okay, you prepared so much, now final war day comes, you're equipped with your weapons. How did the interview go like?
So to be honest, like I was really, really, really stressful about the interview. I mean, I remember that day pretty well because I shouted on my roommates on that very day. And since the process was a virtual one, so I had to give it in my room. So I shouted on my roommates that day, I remember. So I was pretty, let's say in a panic situation, and I am sure anyone who has given an interview will relate to me how it gets. So yeah, so I just joined the meeting, and then the interview shows up. He was a really nice interviewer, but he just started asking me questions without introducing myself or something like that. And he asked me one question about JavaScript or something, and I was able to answer that. And after that, he asked me to introduce myself. So I don't know what that was exactly. That was very, very strange, to be honest. Yeah. So
Initially, I
this
feel
was the
everyone
start off to
prepares.
that interview.
Initially, I feel everyone prepares for the introduction video, and then so the introduction speech, and you will like, oh, you didn't even ask me that. The
Yeah,
first,
exactly. Exactly. And but post that question he asked me, so I was like really, really happy. And like one day earlier, I spent 1.5 hour on my introduction, just segregating the points, what I want to put forward, how I want that interview to go through. Because I believe that introduction is one of the most important parts of that interview. Because one thing, you are showing how confident you are in that interview. That really speaks up to your skill. And second, it actually, guides the flow of the interview, because whatever you put out in that introduction, most probably he'll be asking you questions based on that points. So if you say you're good at DBMS and SQL, then probably he'll be asking you SQL queries and everything and DBMS concepts. And probably if you're more focusing more on your projects, then he'll be asking you questions on your projects and everything, like how did you solve this problem? Okay, what all you could have done separately, or your problem solving skills. So I particularly believe that.
yes, so important point, guys. Your introduction directs the flow of your interview, and many people like, हाँ देख लेंगे वहाँ पे जो मन में आएगा बोलेंगे, no, not at all. It's literally the first form of communication with your interviewer, and maybe if you're not comfortable with English, you might struggle to put in and gather your thoughts. So it's very good that if you prepare it, you will sound so confident in your initial thing itself. Otherwise, the interviewer might be like, they will get turned off, as in, uh, oh, this kid might not know much, and his overall like mood might just drive out. So you really have to keep your interviewer engaged, and for that, introduction is really important. So
Very
yes,
true.
once,
Yeah, very true. And one more thing, like introduction and other such questions like that are actually open-ended questions. So
yes,
you have to structure your answer in a very strategic manner. Like you have to put out the points in the format that you want. Yeah, so I
right,
believe that.
very very well said. Yes.
Yeah.
So once yes, the introduction happened, JavaScript question happened, then what happened?
So yeah, so just as I completed my introduction, I thought that he'll be focusing more on my projects and everything, but something really weird happened. He just opened a link and he was like, solve this question. It was a DSA based question, and I had prepared really well for DSA, so I was expecting a very difficult question wherein I'll be able to tell the brute force algorithms and then move on to the optimal solution. But it turned out to be a very, very easy question, classic lead code stack based question. So I was pretty much let down because of that. But yeah, so I just gave my approach and I just started solving. I probably solved it in 4 to 5 minutes, very fast. So probably in that also he wanted to check how fast am I able to solve and code out the problem. So that was one thing. And one important thing that I focused more on was building a very really healthy communication with him, wherein even if it was so simple like stacks, I continuously talked with him about the different stack operations, what exactly will happen and everything, so that he knew that I just don't know the problem and the solution, but I'm able to, explain it in a in very layman terms also, so that I'm really good at communication, which is one of the most important core skills that they even look at while interviewing. So that was the DS equation, and I solved it in 4 to 5 minutes. And then he asked me some follow-up questions based on that, and I answered them. And post that, as I remember, he just opened DSA concepts, wherein he asked me something about trees and everything, the different traversals and everything, vertical order traversals and everything. So that was a bit harder part. We moved on to the project side, wherein he asked me different questions based on my projects. So that time I didn't have a very good hand with my projects. So they were mainly related to front end development, wherein I had mainly used React and everything. So that was my one project. So he grilled me quite hard on React, wherein he was asking me questions based on both the theoretical concepts as well as the practical concepts. So like what is the virtual DOM in React? How do you use a React hook and what are the different types of hooks, the use effect hook? Then he put out a specific case wherein what would happen if I use this hook. Then he also discussed about the React router and even the custom React hooks. So he went quite deep in that. Then my second project was actually a machine learning project. So even I had studied based on that. So he didn't go quite detailed into that explanation, but he asked me like what all did I study, what all was my research work, and why I chose the particular algorithm that I did. So he asked me on that. Yeah. And apart from that, that just wrapped out in like 10-15 minutes. And I have to say, he went very, very deep into that. And after that, he just moved on to the core fundamentals, wherein he asked me questions based on DBMS. The question was asset properties and everything. It was simple. They were simple questions, but I didn't prepare for the core fundamentals, as I said earlier. So that was the thing. Uh, then there's operating system wherein he was asking me the difference between multi-threading, multi-programming, and uh, threads, processes, and what are kernel level threads, and he went
Were
quite deep
able
into
to
that.
answer them?
Yeah, yeah, I was able to answer that that. And for computer networks, he didn't ask. But apart from that, for object-oriented programming, he asked me very basic concepts, theoretical ones, but also he asked me something really practical that where all had I used object-oriented programming in my projects. And suppose this was a conceptual scenario. So how would I incorporate object-oriented programming in that? So yeah, so he was trying to test out my knowledge in projects as well as how I apply the core fundamental knowledge also in my project work. So yeah, so I was able to answer quite a lot about that. And if we look at the total difficulty level of the interview, I wouldn't say that it was a difficult interview because with the perspective standpoint of an internship, the interview, I would say that it was a 6 on 10. It wasn't quite hard. Whereas if you're preparing for placements, the interviews can get really, really tough and really confusing also at one point. So it's better to prepare. Like if I had more time, I obviously had a lot of time, 9 days. But if I had more time, then I would really study much deeper into what I knew about it.
So, Vansh, yes, that's great. I think you had a really good interview experience. And one thing that I liked was your preparation mapped really well with your interview. Like you said, you were not good with projects. You made a React project that got asked practical questions, fundamental questions. You studied, I think, top 100 questions on the fundamentals as well, and that worked out really well too. And if I'm not wrong, we were in the initial stage, so we were not yet completed with those subjects, CN, OOPS, DBMS. Still, OOPS was completed, but other ones were not. And still, at least you were able to answer them a bit, like answering multi-threading and all those kernel level questions, I think is quite impressive at the given stage of yours. So, guys, that is something to learn from. And yeah, about the machine learning project, I would like to give everyone a few heads up. That was since it was interview for internship, the person did grill much. But like what I have observed in all the interviews in placements, if you have machine learning in your resume, they're gonna grill you like anything. They might ask you several questions on fitting, overfitting, types of it, different models available, agentic AI, etc. So be well versed with them. Have hands-on project on them. ऑलराइट सो वंश काफी अच्छा एक्सपीरियंस था ना उसके बाद क्या होता है लाइक आप सिलेक्ट होते हो नहीं होते हो सेकंड राउंड कब आता है कितने दिनों बाद आता है हाउ इज द एंटायर थिंग लुकिंग लाइक
Yes, so like after my round one technical interview, I was pretty confident that I would be called for the next round because I was able to answer most of the questions. There were two or three questions that I was not able to answer, but you can never expect the interview to completely go your way. So yeah, get pretty chilled about that if you are facing that as an issue. So it was I waited that entire day and I didn't get any response from their side. There was no communication, so I was pretty sad about that. And then just days went by, and it was like, I guess, on the fifth day from the interview, from my interview round one, that I got a mail from the HR saying that I was shortlisted for the next round. And the next round was to be scheduled the very next day. So I had very less time to prepare for it. And it was supposed to be a techno-managerial round, the round two. And it was supposed to be the final round before the internship results would get announced. So yeah, so those 5 days were really, really stressful. As you know, you get there is a state of panic everywhere around you. So that was the entire scenario. And like during that period, our CAT exams in VIT, which are the term exams, they were also going on. So not only was my interview scheduled the very next day, I also had to study for my CAT exam, which was in the morning. And yeah, so it was a pretty difficult time for that also. Yeah.
All right. So yeah, let's move to how the second interview was, what was asked, and how did it go?
Yeah, so as I said earlier, like the second round is a techno-managerial round where you will be asked it depends, everything depends on the interviewer, what they want to ask. They probably might delve deep into technology and everything. A few of my friends were asked basic concepts of system design as well, whereas I didn't face that issue. So, just to give a brief background, my interviewer was a senior manager in the company, and she actually started the interview. So, this time I was asked to introduce myself first. So yeah, the she was very cordial to me, and she knew how to comfort me and put me into that zone where I can freely answer all her questions. So she asked me about my work experiences. So prior to PayPal, I had worked as an intern, as a software engineer intern for 1 month in a very base startup based company. So she asked my experience in that and how well did I, get accustomed to their own tech stack, and how was the learning curve throughout that entire 1 month of journey. So yeah, so she asked me questions based on that and the project that I developed. So they were not just managerial questions, but they were technology-based questions also. And like what was the tech stack and everything, and which algorithms or something that, what were the new things that I learned in that entire process. And apart from that internship, I also was an intern with Samsung Prism project, which is basically a research internship that you do with the faculty members. So she was pretty much impressed by that, and she was asking me and like very interested in that project also. So she was asking me a lot of questions based on that. So basically, they focus a lot on your work experiences. And the way that we were communicating, I could tell that she basically wanted to see my communication skills, that how well I'm performing in that field. And apart from that, she asked me a bit of my projects because I covered a lot of that in the work experience part. And that was the basic part. And then basic HR based questions about conflict resolution and all of that. But the one thing that I felt that went different from me, like if we consider the rest of the candidates, was that I bonded with the interviewer really, really well. So she asked me what were my interests. So I told like I have a passion for dancing, and I have been doing a lot of public speaking in the college. Like as me and Ansh both were a part of the VIT Anchoring Club. So she was pretty impressed with that. And one thing that really connected me with her was that she also used to dance, and she also used to do a lot of public speaking. So that was that one common ground that really helped us and put me a lot further in that race, or like as compared to the other candidates. So it's really, really important to communicate your ideas, and probably with the interviewer, if you find a common ground, then it can go really your way. So that was one thing.
Nice, nice one. I'm happy that things worked in your favor and you got an interviewer who danced as well as anchored. You know, it's like जब लिखना हो like होना लिखा हुआ होता है तो फिर होके ही रहता है. And obviously, like guys, I would like to focus कि जैसे वेरीफाई का भी last time हुआ था, even in PayPal, companies that you know, like marquee companies, I say, just does not focus on your skills, but also focus on your experiences, your personality, and the way you present yourself. Like Quanch's interviewer made him very comfortable, but also at the same time. she very smartly evaluated his entire personality. And once itself also very smartly put out his experiences. So when you are going out for an interview, make sure all of your experiences speak about you as an individual, speak about your initiatives and how well you are progressing. So that's something we can take off from this. And
That's
once,
very, very true, Ansh. And I would say, like, throughout that entire round two, communication was the key, which is the same case with most of the companies when you enter the final round. So you have to be really good with your communication skills. Be free, be what you want, just express your ideas freely. And I can say that because there's one more point that I want to add, and what I just want to put it out was that the interviewer, the senior manager in the company, she liked me as a candidate so well that she later personally mailed the HR that she wanted me to join as an intern in her own team. So yeah, so I got the opportunity to work under her team, and it was just the most memorable experience. Like it was really fun to work with her, and she was really really chill. So yeah, I had a lot of fun in that also.
right, very very well, Vansh. Like एक होता है इंटरव्यू क्रैक करना, एक होता है मैनेजर क्रैक करना. नाइस. तो यस वंश, तो बताओ इसके बाद क्या होता है, कब आता है रिजल्ट, कैसे होता है, सब कुछ पूरा प्रोसेस बताओ.
Yeah, so round two सबके हो गए and everything. Round two सबके लिए ही, like I would say, for most of the candidates, they went very, very well and very, very smooth. So most of the candidates were expecting a very positive response. So yeah, we were all waiting for that, mail where the congratulations mail drops out. And we just waited and waited, and it had been 1 month and no communication still from their side. And we were like, wait, when will it drop off? But yeah, we had actually communicated with the seniors, and they told that generally PayPal takes this much of time to evaluate all the candidates and then put out. So yeah, so we were waiting, and I remember I had been back to my hometown Mumbai on by the Diwali vacations, and it was like one day after Diwali that the mails dropped out, wherein the congratulations mail came out, and yeah, it was just the most memorable experience for me, you know, celebrate this particular special moment because. Uh, to crack an internship differently from like an on-campus one or something that can actually boost you in your career. That's a very special moment for you, be it with your friends or your family. But yeah, like there is some personal touch when it comes to family. So yeah, I would prefer that. So this was the time.
नाइस. ऑलराइट वंश, तो कंग्रेट्स कि आप हो गए फाइनली इंटर्नशिप के लिए सिलेक्ट. बट दैट्स नॉट वेयर द जर्नी एंड्स. After getting an internship you also get a full time ka PPO. So tell us about that. What extraordinary and what different did you do so that you got converted? Because I remember not everyone in PayPal got converted as a full time.
Yeah, you're right. Not everyone did get convert, and especially in a time like this, wherein the entire tech industry, if you see, is suffering from a recession, wherein there is a very difficult to find jobs in this market. So particularly, I would say that that one thing that pretty much worked out for me, as compared to others, might be my networking skills. Like your skills need to be like on the point because you a lot of difference makes a lot of difference comes through from your networking. Like if you go to random people and you just communicate with them, because generally as an intern in the company, I realized that the people were very very cordial to me, and they were receptive, and they were there to help me out. So that was that one particular thing wherein I used to not communicate not only with my own team members, but also with the members in the sister teams and everything, so that not only they consider me as an intern who is actually interested in them and their project and what they're working, but they also know that I am there for if they want to communicate, if they want to have any problems, then I'm there to reach out to them. Like even in my project at the beginning phases, it was very difficult to get used to a completely different platform itself when it comes to tech stack. So I just used to message people that, hey, I'm an intern, and can you please help me out? And they just used to schedule meets right there, instant meetings, and then they used to help me out. So that is that one particular thing that really can help you a lot. And apart from that, yeah, be very ethical with every work you do, be disciplined and everything. That's just the basics of that. Yeah.
Nice one. I understand again. Key points to be taken from here. It is uh, networking. You did networking with all of them. And second, you showed genuine interest in their projects and learning. So obviously, if I am someone who is hiring, I'll see, okay, this candidate is really interested. So let's hire him. I think kudos to you for checking all the boxes. And yeah, so finally, we come to an end of this. I am very sure everyone got a lot of insights, but let's talk about who actually helped you in this journey from internship to getting a PPO to being here over here.
Yeah.
Cut. वापस बोलता
क्यों
हूँ
क्या हुआ? अच्छा था.
I'll tell again. Okay. So, Vansh, finally, we come to an end of this. I'm really happy how your journey came from internship to getting a PPO. But it's like sometimes we should give back and thank everyone of our journey. And I'm very sure you're excited to thank everyone who helped you. So, let's start.
Yeah, so actually, I've been looking forward to this part of the video really much because this is my way. Like, I just know, like, I just get to, thank those people who have really played an important role in this journey. So, first of all, I would really, really thank my own family because my mom, dad, and my younger brother, because despite everything, they've always believed in me that, yeah, that he'll do something, that he'll, find his own way out. So, and to get that, to celebrate that moment with the family was a really, really special moment, and I will cherish it for the rest of my life. Okay. And apart from that, there are a lot of friends that I have to thank because I wouldn't be here in the company without them. So first of all, it's Ansh, obviously, because I know he's been very, very excited about this own interview experience. He's been more excited than me, to be honest, and everything. So yeah, there's Ansh and another very, very special person who, not only was with me through that entire process, but actually guided me through it was my really dear friend Siddharth. मतलब वो तो मेरे साथ फ्रॉम द वेरी फर्स्ट लेग मतलब ओए पेपाल का ओए से लेके एचआर इंटरव्यू से जब कॉन्ग्रेचुलेशंस मेल एंड डायरेक्ट पीपीओ सो मैं इधर ऑनेस्टली इधर नहीं होता इफ देयर वुडंट हैव बीन अ सिद्धार्थ who could help me out. So really, really thank you. और इसके बाद मैं मेरे रूममेट्स को थैंक करना चाहूंगा. So विभू, तन्मय, आदि, who really helped me through that entire process. और इसके बाद मेरे extended roommates पुलकित, अभिषेक, अफान, were like सबकी like they were more happy than me. They were happier than me when I got that internship. And there are many seniors, Aditya Bhaiya, Samarth Bhaiya, Aryan Bhaiya, really, really happy. My friends in the VIT Anchoring Club, Rhythm, and all the other friends there who were with me, and that public speaking skill that they helped me nurture and they helped me develop made me much more confident in those interviews. So a part of that success goes to them also. So really, really thankful to them as well. And so this was just after the internship. But a really, really special person is Sai Priya, who was a SD1 at PayPal, and she really helped me in the project and everything. And she was really a very good friend. And yeah, I know I'm taking a lot of time, but yeah, one last person that I have to thank is all my PayPal fellow interns who were with me, who helped me a lot through that entire process. Whenever we used to have any doubts, we used to just communicate with each other and the problems would get resolved most of the times. So, yeah, there's that. And one final person I cannot bid a goodbye to without saying his name is Soham. Obviously, he's my very dear friend and he was also a PayPal intern. So, yeah, we were roommates and we were even in the same company. So yeah, really, really grateful for him for those 3 months of, you know, uh, I would say, tolerating me or something like that. Yeah. So really, really thankful to a lot of people. I know I have missed a lot of people also, but yeah, I will definitely send you a text. Thank you text, just as this video comes out.
Chalo. Let's wrap it up then, Vansh. Thank you so much for being our guest. And
Thank you so much, and
bye bye.
see you.